We got to start here at the Emirates because maybe, okay, forget the goals. There were 3 goals. But in terms of the actual play, I thought this was some of the best football that I've seen Arsenal play against a good opponent under Mikel Arteta.
Yeah, they were already amazing against Liverpool in the FA Cup, remember? But in the end, they could not take any of their chances, and they got done in the end. Yeah, but still, I think that had an impact on the game on Sunday because Arsenal played the same formation with a double pivot. And remember, we opened the show with that Liverpool win at the Emirates in the FA Cup, and we mentioned the Declan Rice and Jorginho's double pivot. Arteta didn't play them since, but played them again on Sunday, and it was the right thing to do because
we said Jorginho in certain games is exactly what you need, and he was arguably man of the match. I think he won the man of the match award on Sky.
It was great, and Arsenal played great. They restricted Liverpool to 0.4 XG, which is the lowest of the season by far. Even when they traveled to City, they had the highest XG.
And they recorded the highest ever XG against Liverpool.
Yeah, ever.
More than
3.5, yeah. So, well done to Arsenal. Everything worked perfectly, even if, one of the goals is gifted to them. But still, I thought they were outstanding in a game that they could not afford.
One of the goals was gifted to them?
Yeah, the second one. The first one is not a gift. The third one either.
The third one wasn't?
It's not a gift, as in it's not Van Dijk on purpose. Van Dijk doesn't give the third goal to Trossard. He just deflects the shot.
No, I was referring more to Alisson.
But it's the deflection. The deflection tricks Alisson. That's it. If Van Dijk doesn't touch the ball, Alisson saves that Trossard shot.
This is a fine goalkeeping point, and I was I'd love it if there was a goalkeeper here with us, Shocker, in case you're listening, because I heard some really interesting breakdown. I know I never played goalkeeper. I'm assuming you never did. But the point that they made is a lot of goalkeepers today look to defend. And I'm sorry, this is inside baseball, but I'm fascinated by this. They look to defend simply by making themselves big in that situation. Yeah. Right? The goal that Mike Mignon conceded on Saturday night as well, similar situation. Yeah. What that means is when you spread yourself, you can't react if there's a deflection or if the shot goes somewhere that you don't expect. I mean, presumably they do it because they figure it serves them in the long run. I don't know if that was the right decision from there. That's on.
I know, but without the deflection, I'm not sure he conceded that goal. So for me, they gifted the second goal to Arsenal, but still, Arsenal deserves their win. Klopp said that from the first minute, he realised it was not going to be their day. And I don't know as a coach how you can feel that, but he was right. It was just not Liverpool day at all.
Oh, not coincidentally, maybe it's entirely coincidental that Kai Havertz played up front, and I thought actually he played really, really well.
Yeah.
He brings a physical element, again, in those games that Gabriel Jesus obviously can't bring because he's just a little fella. I thought his movement off the ball is good. And I know that people don't like him and they make fun of him and whatever. But I'm asking myself, like, if you're going to have a center forward who doesn't score many goals, right? Why not have it be Havertz who brings you a bunch of other things rather than Gabriel Jesus, especially in certain games?
Yeah, and especially when you play with a double pivot. If you had played maybe with just Declan Rice and no Jorginho, Kai Havertz could have played as an 8, and you could have played Jesus if he'd been fit as a 9 or something else.
But you do that against a bad team that sits.
Yeah, but no Gabriel Jesus, I think it makes a lot of sense. And also, people keep forgetting, so we're going to remind them all again, Kai Havertz is a pressing machine. He runs and presses and is a nuisance for the opposition, especially when you try to build from the back like Liverpool try to do or want to do. And for that, but with Gabriel Jesus is the same. I'm not saying that Havertz is better for that than Jesus, but this is also what Havertz brings you. He touches the ball a lot. He recovers the ball a lot. He wins a lot of duels. And this is also what he brings. And he got Konate sent off. He's at the heart of the first goal, even if he should have scored. But in the end, Saka scored the rebound. So, I thought it was his best game since he joined Arsenal.
You know, when Liverpool scored that goal entirely against a run of play at the end of the first half, I thought to myself, this is kind of like the Liverpool that we've seen many times this season where they don't play well, but they stay in games. And they don't play well without, arguably, I think, 2 of their best players. Obviously, there was no Mohamed Salah. Yeah. Soboslai was missing as well, I guess.
And Darwin. Without Darwin, it's not the same team.
Darwin was by choice. Soboslai was enforced, though.
But Darwin is injured. That's why he was only on the bench.
All right, Jules, let's get into it because for 2 teams of such quality, we saw some, shall we call them, unconventional goals. And by the way, these unconventional goals When you talked about Arsenal's XG, again, let's contextualize. Some of those are very high XG goals because there's very freakish results, right? I have to start with Alisson, who I think had a really poor game. And I'm a huge Alisson fan. I think he's a phenomenal goalkeeper. All those years when people said, no, Ederson's is better. And I said, no, you're not. Sledgehammer to the head, Alisson's better. He's not only very handsome, although that's not him in that video, which many people saw, but they can't admit to having watched. That's an actor. You said on the first goal, it's not down to him.
The first goal?
Yeah.
No, I said the third goal, the Trossard goal. The first goal, what else can he do? He blocks Havertz's shot.
I think there's an argument to be made that he's well out of his goal.
Yeah, but he saves the shot.
I think he's kind of in no man's land on the first one too, and I don't think he's going to be happy with his positioning.
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
I think looking back, he would find fault. This is something that you just chalk up. All right, you had a terrible game. Everybody's a terrible day, and you move on, right?
Yeah, but Liverpool were the best defense in the league. They might still be right now, even considering 3 goals. They were the best defense in the league. I just don't understand. I mean, the Van Dijk debate.
But that's what I wanted to get to about Van Dijk. Because Alisson, I think, is still on Alisson's level. He just had a terrible game.
Yeah.
Van Dijk is older than Alisson. And also, there is some question. He's had ups and downs. He's had injuries over the last 4 or 5 years. He seemed to really struggle in this game.
Yeah. Yeah, he really struggled. I don't. Nathan Manu, yesterday we were on the radio together, and he said that Van Dijk was back to his best or was having a really good season. Which,
not based on that game, you didn't say
No,
that.
before the game. Because we were talking also about Saliba and funnily enough, before the game we talked about how important the 2 boxes would be, which is a cliche, of course, because this is where you win or lose a match. But when I see the Gabriel own goal that Arsenal gifted Liverpool and the Martinelli goal that Liverpool gifted Arsenal, I'm thinking like, really at this level, I don't want to see those mistakes. For me, there's a huge lack of communication. And again, maybe they spoke to each other and you can't see on any of the angles of the replays and all of that. But from all the angles that we have, all the replays, it doesn't look like neither Van Dijk or Alisson talk. Raya or Saliba don't talk to each other either. And it's clearly like, okay, I'm having the ball, you're having the ball, you're not sure. And in the end, it's easy for Luis Diaz to poke it, and he gets a bit lucky then. And it's easy for Van Dijk and Alisson to just miss the ball completely. How can you miss a ball?
All right, I'll admit that you don't see their lips move when they're not ventriloquists. I feel like I want to give Van Dijk and Alisson the benefit of the doubt. Maybe the shout came before, before the ball comes.
Maybe that's what I said. But it doesn't look like
something happened. I think it's also the other thing is when Alisson looks terrible and trying to clear it, right? But it's also because he actually kicks Van Dijk.
Yeah, but I think
because Van Dijk gets pushed into his path.
Yeah, but he misses the ball because I think he's scared to kick Van Dijk. So in the end, he doesn't go for the ball. He only half kind of kicks, goes towards the ball. He ends up touching Van Dijk a little bit, not the ball, because I think he's scared that he would actually barge completely into Van Dijk.
Or you could say Van Dijk is pushed into his path.
But what's wrong with Van Dijk just blocking Martinelli and letting Alisson clearing the ball? I don't understand what Van Dijk is doing.
I think he tries to do that, and I don't think he shorts his feet out, actually. Because if you block somebody, obviously you need to have... Obviously, he's a bigger, stronger guy than Martinelli. But if you look, I don't think his footwork is great, and I don't think he feels he has the leverage, and he doesn't sort his feet out well enough. And I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. I do think as Liverpool turn the page, so to speak, with Klopp leaving, you wonder if maybe they aren't thinking about succession, investing in new center backs. Obviously, there's a Mo Salah issue as well. He's going to have 1 year left.
I mean, both Van Dijk and Salah have 18 months left on the contract.
And I wonder if this is where you make a tough decision, right? It's always an issue. What do you do when your superstar gets older? Yeah. Maybe he's not at that point. You said he had been playing better this season. I don't think he's back to his pre-injury levels.
No, I agree.
And I don't think he's also been helped, and we have to give him an out here, by the fact that there's no defensive midfielder anymore. I mean, Alexis McAllister, I thought actually played relatively well, but it's still not his thing.
Yeah, no,
and then this season, I think we need to view that through that lens, because especially the way Liverpool play, we really should be thinking of like a triangle there, right? Because the fullbacks push on. On the Gabriel one, Yeah, obviously, we're going to blame Raya more than we blame Saliba. I still think there was so much luck in the way. And credit Diaz for believing and keeping after and making his own luck. And also the way the ball hits Gabriel's hand.
Yeah, it's a free goal. It is an absolute free goal against the run of play, as you said, just before the break, which could have, I think, knocked Arsenal's confidence completely, considering how dominant they were in that first half. I don't know. But I think Saliba's movement is great. He reads the situation so well. He comes across Diaz. Maybe if he's not a ball playing centre back, and he's in a ball playing team, maybe he kicks the ball for a throw, and that's fine. But instead, he wants to keep the ball in play for Raya to come and collect it.
Right.
And again, I don't think they talk to each other. And this case of like, I'm waiting for you to go. It's a split second. And Diaz is really sharp, to be fair to him, to go round and then toe poke the ball. I don't know, because I think Saliba does a lot of good things in that incident. And in the end, he's also partly to blame. Whether you blame more Raya or him, it doesn't matter. But he's partly to blame for the goal, for the mistake.
By the way, you were there. For those of us who watched it on television, there was one moment in the first half when there was some issue with Taylor's headset and stuff, or whatever equipment he uses, or he's over at the sideline and they're adjusting and fitting in, putting in batteries, and you can see the Arsenal bench behind him, and I just caught it with it out of the corner of my eye. I think it may have been Ramsdale. Either it's Ramsdale or some
Ramsdale,
Aryan-looking guy on the bench who's absolutely shouting at the referee, saying, "Get on with it, get on with it." And I'm thinking to myself, like, it's not a very smart thing to do. Because it's not his...
the momentum. You don't want to lose the momentum. Arsenal are...
Oh yeah, because it's really going to make the poor man or woman who's fixing his equipment. It's really going to make them. It's really going to make them work faster. No, it's only going to annoy them.
It's nothing.
It's going to delay things further. Seriously, get on with it. Get on with it. Come on.
There's been too much talk from Jamie Carragher and Gary Neville as well on the celebration.
Oh, yes, I knew we were getting there.
Mikel Arteta.
Steve Nicol didn't like it either, you'll be shocked to know.
Yeah, of course. Oh, another Liverpool former player. Hey, here we go. So when Klopp does it...
Stevie says he doesn't like it when Klopp does it either.
Fair enough, because Carragher didn't say that. Because when Klopp does it, or Pep, or I don't know who, De Zerbi, nobody says anything. When it's Arteta, in a game like this, again, it's a game, Arsenal lose, they're 8 points behind, it's finished. They might not win the table, might not win the title, and they did City a big favour, of course they did, but that win is huge for them. So come on, please let people enjoy a win when it's a big win like that in a big game. Okay?
And play with the cameras and stuff, that's all.
But what's wrong with that? Stuart MacFarlane, who is the Arsenal official photographer.
As I discovered from Jan's Twitter feed.
No, but it's been for 25 years. Everybody knows him. He's known me for 20 years. He's a huge Arsenal fan. What's wrong with Martin Odegaard taking a photo of him in front of that stadium? What's wrong with that?
I don't think anybody's having a go at Martin Odegaard, to be fair.
No, some have.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Jamie Carragher said, go down to the tunnel. You won. You've been great. Stop doing that little shenanigans or whatever he said. What's wrong with... But we talked about this celebration police before. Let's just people enjoy what they want, you know.
You know my views on this, actually. I think if you act like you've been there before in certain situations, it can give you an edge, a sense of psychological security, like we expect this. But to do that, you have to have been winning for a while, which Arsenal haven't. So I have absolutely no problem whatsoever with the way they celebrated. I have an issue when it's disrespectful, especially to the opposition fans, and you know this.
Yeah.
And
but that was nothing disrespectful.
There was nothing disrespectful about the opposition fans. It's not like Odegaard went and took a picture of the sad Liverpool fans as they left the stadium, right? So no, there was no problem. I have no issue with that. It's a different way to do it, right? It's a different way. If this is how they want to do it, that's fine. That's fine. Just wonder what happens when they win the Champions League. Oh,
but it doesn't matter. We will see when they get there. If they get there, I'm just saying the atmosphere was amazing, and Arteta really wanted the atmosphere to be special. The club released a video on Sunday morning about, those kind of videos with the music and the great montage and like motivational words and all of that. And I think the crowd really responded superbly in a game that, again, Arsenal had to win. They really had to win to keep believing. And again,
this was not a can't lose. This was a must win.
Yeah, 100%. And credit to them. Even if Liverpool had players missing, they just made Liverpool look very average. which we hadn't seen a lot this season.
Incidentally, all those people are like, "Oh, look, they did Man City a favor." Like, I know it feels clever when you say that, but it's really freaking stupid. It's a three-way race for the title, right?
Yeah.
And maybe City and Liverpool are favored, and they probably are because they're better teams with more established managers who've been there longer. But come on now, don't make it about, oh, you did City a favor. Like, this is really
simply
sad.
Because now it's
I
it's
know
not in Liverpool's hand anymore. If City win the 2 games in hand, they're 1 point clear. So
that's fine. And then if
but there's no if. It's just like,
okay, no, wait, sorry. And then if Liverpool win the head-to-head against City, then they're clear. I mean,
no, of course. But before Sunday, if Liverpool had won every single game, they would have guaranteed to win the title.
They're still guaranteed to win the title if they win every game, because they have one game against City.
Yeah.
So nothing's changed at Liverpool, right?
Well, I disagree.
No,
I disagree. They were top of the table. That defeat means they might lose that leadership position.
Right, and then they'll regain it when they beat City.
Maybe they will, but they won't. They might not be leaders anymore when they play that game against City.
I take your point, but I'm saying is this whole viewing it through the lens of they did City a favor, I think is also disrespectful to Arsenal, frankly.
Yeah, no, I see.
It's a legit three-way race.
Yeah, no,
Enough,
it is.
right?
It is.
One other point I want to make, obviously, Connor Bradley, I think is his name.
Connor Bradley,
who's done really well in right back. He wasn't there for personal reasons. I'm not suggesting that with Connor Bradley he would have even started, and probably not.
Yeah.
But I think you would have had the option then to do what, as you pointed out before off air, that they've done in previous games, which is put him on and move Trent into midfield.
Yeah.
And I think that would have given them a dimension in terms of passing. I'm not saying it would have necessarily turned the game.
No,
but
it would have been interesting.
in a situation where you have half fit Nunez, and no Salah and no Szoboszlai, it would have said, okay, fine, let me go at you from a different vantage point, from a different angle, right?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I mean, Trent came off in the 58th minute, which I know he was bad.
He came off for Robertson,
and
they moved Jogo, who's already been booked. By the way,
that's humiliating in itself.
By the way, Simone Inzaghi, when he sees these games and he sees players with bookings playing like into the second half, I think his head explodes.
Yeah, explodes. For him, it's not possible. And by the way, Jogo played with a yellow card for like 65 minutes or so. I mean, he got booked in the 25th or something like that. We've praised Klopp's substitutions before, and Liverpool are the team that got the most points so far this season from losing position, the team that scored the most goals in the last 10 minutes of a game or 5 minutes or whatever. Robbo for Trent, Elliott for Gravenberch, who wasn't good either, and Darwin for Gakpo, who wasn't good either. You mentioned it. When three of your starters plus, and that's just Trent, Gravenberch, Gakpo, who were not good. Van Dijk wasn't good. We mentioned it. Gomez was on a yellow. Alisson wasn't good. That's a lot of players from your starting lineup underperforming. And then when you replace them,
and then you have Salah. Then you've got the players from your starting lineup who aren't there. Salah and Szoboszlai. Yeah.
But then when you replace them and actually really not much of an impact for half an hour from those subs, then I think this is where he becomes even more difficult for you against a team that is then leading, confident at home with their fans, etc. And it was just, I think, one of those days. I don't know if Conor Bradley or Salah or whoever else would have helped, because it just didn't really feel like Liverpool. And again, credit to Arsenal for that. But for Liverpool, it's one of those, like, they don't have many of those days in a season where just nothing goes their way. And that was one. So let's hope for them that it doesn't happen again, because that was just, it didn't really feel like Liverpool.
They had me do this last night on the show, so I'm going to make you do it now.
Yeah.
Let's talk percentages. City obviously kick off in a few hours. We record this on a Monday morning. Most people gave City more than 50%. Where do you stand?
No, I think it would be really tight, and I think the afternoon that Liverpool had at the Emirates on Sunday, kind of Arsenal had it at Fulham, for example. I think City have had it at Wolves, and I think all three of them can still have it again. So for me, it's the most competitive Premier League season that we've had in a very long time, and I think it will stay like that until the end. So I would go.
Has to add up to 100, remember?
Yeah, that's why I was thinking 35 City, because they're still slightly favourite for me. Because I would have gone 33, 33, 33.
Really?
But I still don't think it's that equal yet because Arsenal, for example, have to go to City, to United, to Spurs. City will have to go to Liverpool and to Spurs, for example. So they're still obviously.
But they have such a great record at Spurs.
Yeah, but you know,
I was joking,
that's
yeah.
what I mean. Yeah. So
Being sarcastic.
No, it's not easy. So
You say 35 City, and then
I go 33 Liverpool,
okay,
and then 32 Arsenal.
that's very surgical.
Oh my
35,
God, that's
33,
brilliant.
32.
35, 33, 32. Here we go.
Wow, Arsenal, despite having played one more game than City,
Yeah.
despite being 2 points back in the lead,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
But Liverpool and City will play each other.
This is true. But
So-
one of them may well get 3 points.
Yeah,
So,
for sure. I think
Time
it's
will
good.
tell.
That's how I want it to be anyway.
There you have it. I have City slightly ahead, but just more
What was your
broadly,
prediction? What was your percentages then? Do you remember?
I think I went City 45,
Yeah.
Liverpool 35, and Arsenal 20.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough.
But
I want it
I-
as competitive as possible,
Yeah.
so I go really tight.
I do think this. I think you're right. I think these teams will all drop points because I don't think these teams are as strong or pardon me. I'm not going to poke holes and say these teams are weak, but I think there's evident weaknesses in all three teams. There's evident areas where they haven't been consistently great or aren't consistently great.
Yeah.
Whether it's the center forward situation and the fact that at Arsenal, or indeed I might add the goalkeeper at Arsenal. As you know, I'm not a big fan. Whether it's some of the defending we've seen from City, whether it's the fact that Haaland's been injured, has come back, is he fit, is he not fit? Who knows, right? Whether it's, Liverpool, the Klopp factor, there's a million other issues with Liverpool, obviously, right?
Yeah.
So you can look at it both ways. Fix them, and then just imagine how much better you can be. Or might they come back to haunt you? Might you lose points along the way? So for me, I agree. I think there's going to be lots of twists and turns.